Selamat pagi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Puji syukur kita panjatkan kehadiran Tuhan Yang Maha Pengasih. Kita dianugerahkan kesehatan bersama-sama pagi ini di sini, dan kita sangat bersyukur berkenan hadir pada acara One Hour University kali ini. Excellency Ambassador Trevor Matheson of New Zealand. Tepuk tangan tolong untuk beliau.
Selamat pagi dan Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Permisi saya berbicara di bahasa Maori. Tihe Maori ora, e te watu anau te korea, e na mana, e na reo, e rauranga tiro ma. Mai na kokona, o te whariaia kia roa, na mihi mahana kia koto. Tēnā koto, tēnā koto, tēnā koto katoa. Dalam bahasa Inggris, let there be light, glory be to the Lord above, to all the authorities, all the voices, to the many chiefs assembled here, including Paurat, from the four corners of the house of Aotearoa. I extend a warm welcome to you. Greetings. I'm going to speak to you about lessons learned about geothermal in New Zealand, but I'm also going to take you through a little bit of journey to explain a little bit more about what is New Zealand and what is the relationship between New Zealand and Indonesia. And then we will start talking about the geothermal journey that New Zealand and Indonesia have taken and the lessons that we've learned from geothermal energy and from renewable energy. But let us start with a video. The origins of New Zealand-Indonesia bilateral diplomatic relations, we have shared geological roots. The birth of our two nations are both remarkably different and at the same time remarkably similar. So let's go back many, many millions of years. As in my introduction, I'm a geographer, so I like talking about geography, geology, and a little bit about history, as well as being a diplomat. If we go back before human time, as the slide shows, our two lands were actually geographically located, co-located in a single landmass or supercontinent called Pangaea. Over millions of years, the continents broke apart from Pangaea and moved to their present positions. To this day, Indonesia and New Zealand remain co-located, albeit distantly, on the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire. And if you can see here, New Zealand down the end, right around the Pacific, we have the tectonic plates that broke away Pangaea, but resulted in continents of South America, of North America, of Asia, and New Zealand. And it's those tectonic plates which provide the opportunities for volcanism as well as geothermal energy, and in our case also disaster risks, natural hazards that take place. So we're on the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire with Indonesia, so we have a lot in common from our geological location. Sometimes we are rattled, often we're shaken by massive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, but to date we've never been broken. But at the time, neither Indonesia nor New Zealand had the resources to establish diplomatic relations, each other's capitals. So after Indonesia joined the Colombo Plan in 1953, New Zealand quickly extended Colombo Plan assistance to Indonesia. And that included mostly in education and training, but was the beginning of our geothermal training relationship. To assist those Colombo Plan efforts, New Zealand established a Development Assistance Office in Jakarta in 1957. That act was warmly welcomed by President Sukarno, who responded by cross-accrediting a diplomat from Indonesia's embassy in Canberra to New Zealand in June 1958. And that date represents the formal establishment of bilateral diplomatic relations between Indonesia and our two countries. This led in turn to Wellington upgrading our office to that of a consulate, then a consulate general in 1961, and then to the appointment of a resident head of mission. And 2 years later, the mission was firmly established and upgraded the status of a legation and then an embassy. So the first lesson we learned from geothermal was to learn from Maori about the nature and the value of the natural resource and its potential uses. Early Maori harnessed, as we see here, geothermal power for everything from cooking to warming shelters. Geothermal energy is considered a teaonga, a treasure by Maori, with intrinsic value in the traditional Maori world. For many centuries, stories and histories have been handed down orally from one generation to the next, explaining the value of geothermal in the traditional oral histories and its place in early Maori economies. Recorded evidence from Maori and Europeans, the form of photographs and written documentation, show how Maori lived and used geothermal energy in everyday life. So this was the second lesson we learned about geothermal. To respect Maori values about renewable resource use, that we are only present day custodians of the resource for future generations. And today New Zealand continues to respectfully utilize the country's natural resources. Maori are amongst the major owners and investors in geothermal and renewable energy in New Zealand.